Hi, boys and girls. You know what time it is. It's Monday, 7:30. We're back. Told you we'd come back. Now we just need Andy to show up. There's Andy. What's up, guys? View request. Come on, pal. What up, Matt? How we doing, bud? Come on, Andy. What the fuck? No? Still no Andy. Alright, apparently some technical difficulties. Maybe Andy will show up sometime soon. We got everyone except Andy here. We have our production manager. We can't even blame the trailer park for him on him. Oh. Go hard barbell left. And make sure you crop this out or something. I think we actually have questions, though. I know I got questions. But I don't know where Andy's at. Here we go. I got one. Okay. I don't know where Andy's at. Who's here? Does anyone here have a question? I know everyone here. All right, guys. Well, there we go. Try this again. No. Oh, Instagram. Hey, pal. There's some technical difficulties.
Yeah, just it like was showing me and not you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I tried to bounce back in.
Welcome to the State of the Union, sponsored by the Go Hard Barbell, the BCB Training Systems, and Wicked Wolf Beard Co. What's going on? How you feeling?
Good.
Yeah? Safety bar looks good.
What's that?
Your safety bar looks good.
Yeah. Drop the box.
There we go. Smart move.
Excited to get the pull fixed.
Yeah.
Tired of pulling incrementally 5 pounds heavier every meet and being upset. I got my grip plan in place.
Oh, yeah? What do we got? Anything good? We want to release to the public? Not releasing to the public?
JL Holsworth has this plan that he used to pull 950 double overhand off of 3-inch blocks. He's like the world-renowned grip guy, so I figured it out.
Yeah, I mean,
him, and he couldn't find it, and then I messaged Dave Tate, and he like copied and pasted it to an Instagram message to me. So
nice.
It's like
it was from Elite? It was like a podcast or whatever?
Yeah, it was like an article from 2014 that they did.
Oh, way back.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I think what's in there? Anything anything out of the ordinary? Anything that we haven't talked about?
So JL's thing is like you can't train, like most people train grip for endurance and hypertrophy, and you can't do that because endurance, like you don't have to hold it for an extended period of time, and that's hypertrophy for the hand, and like reps is hypertrophy, which actually makes your hand pad bigger, and the bigger your hand pad is, the harder it is to hold on to stuff. So you really want to train you want to train like you would train max effort for two different things, like max effort for this and max effort for that. So you want like crushing power, and then you want like thumb and finger strength. So it's a lot of like fat bar, double overhand holds, fat bar, like regular, like for a triple, then a single, then the same, and some different stuff like that, and then some like forearm extensor work.
Nice.
So we'll see.
Can't hurt.
It's like I guess like work up to a max 3-inch deadlift with a fat bar, and then do it again for a triple, and then do it again for a 5-second hold.
That sounds terrible. That
Yeah,
That's terrible.
225.
Oh, with what? With like the axle?
Yeah, I got that fat bar that I made. It's like Bobo. I bought. I couldn't find anybody to sell me a fat bar, so I bought a cheap barbell and then like wrapped it in hockey tape and then cut a PVC pipe, put the PVC pipe on, and then duct taped it and then put hockey tape around it for grip. It's gnarly, but I needed a fat bar, so.
I bought mine on Amazon. It was like $200.
Yeah, I probably should have bought one on there, but
the one that I got's like pretty. It's like 85 pounds.
Yeah, I really want the one Donnie makes, but he won't sell it. Right. And the one Elite FTS makes is like $350. So I just said, screw it, I'll make my own.
Yeah, might as well.
Mine's heavy too. I've never weighed it, but I mean, I bet it's 50 pounds, 55 pounds. Good. So with you. How's the hooks?
It was good. I pulled last week. It was the most I worked up to at the top since surgery. So I thought I figured something out on the set before my top set, and then it all went to shit on my top set. So
yeah,
I think it's going to be more so learning how the grip works, and then like figuring out the best setup to implement.
Yeah. I get it.
But the top load was over 8 again, so we're back over 8 there.
Do you feel like you lost strength?
No, I don't feel weak. It's slowing me down having to worry about my grip. So
yeah, it's like one of those things that I almost feel like it messed my rhythm up.
Yeah, no, it definitely messes my rhythm up setup wise. But that's what I said. I think once I understand exactly how it needs to work, like exactly what I need to do to get in the right position, then I could just figure out the best setup to to mirror as much as I can my old setup.
Because you take for granted like the fact that you've done 1,000 pulls with one rhythm, and the second that you're like wrenching at the bottom, you kind of lose some of your reactionary strength and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. I'm noticing that obviously I'm not as fast off the floor, but I think once I understand how to lock the grip in, and once I can tension better, I mean, I'll slack the bar to my knee if I have to.
Yeah, I mean, it should shorten your range of motion a great deal.
It has already. I mean, it's noticeable. It's noticeable now.
Do you feel like you're losing it at the top at all?
No.
So you don't feel like the bar's going anywhere. You just.
No. If it's not locked in, it sucks, and it's moving around, and it's not where it should be. But there'll be a set here or there where I'll lock it in and I'll slack and it'll come off the ground and it'll, travel 3 inches and we're there.
More of that.
There. Yeah, more of that. Exactly. But I think I got someone, what's his name? Why can't I remember his name? Phil. Phil sent me a guy who helped Grigsby.
Okay.
And
speaking of 3 inches of range of motion.
Yeah, I mean, if I can get 3 inches of range of motion and pull even 100 pounds less than what he pulls, then we're in a good spot.
Yeah, I think if you could pull 1,000, you could get some things done.
You would think so.
It's not out of the cards.
No, I mean, I would have to. I just need to figure out how to grip the bar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Where are you grabbing the bar on the beginning of the knurl?
I'm getting my first finger on the knurl.
Right on the rent, like where the
yeah. Because if I'm too close, I won't be able to get my shoulders through, even hook. So
that makes sense. So just come here.
Yeah. It's just going to be trial and error with seeing what works and what doesn't, I think, at this point.
Yeah, and you're not competing until what, 9/11?
Till September, so.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you can pull 8, you'll be good.
Yeah, I think we're probably I'd say probably another week off that. Another 2 weeks off that.
What about your squat? Do you feel like you lost anything?
No. Squat feels phenomenal right now.
So you were able to do enough to keep your hips and shit strong?
I mean, I was squatting as soon as I was cleared to lift. I was squatting with my brace on, with the safety bar, and with the spider bar. So I've been squatting the entire time.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, but I mean,
but I'm like, you weren't able to squat the way you wanted to squat, but you felt like you were able to do enough.
I was only able to get under a buffalo bar for the first time last week.
Yeah.
Before that, the tension was too much on my bicep. But now
pain benching?
No, the vibrating in the forearm is slowly going away, and that's really the only way I can describe that feeling. But that's going away. There's no pain in the actual bicep. Doing really anything except really externally rotating and like really supinating, I guess. Here, like to here, there's no pain at all whatsoever. So now we're just that last.
When you really challenge it, that's what.
Yeah. And I mean, if I'm not going to be going over under, then there's no need to be in that position.
I've been really trying since this happened to you, doing a ton of bicep curls. Not a ton, but I've been doing them like wide, so I really have to externally rotate.
Yeah.
Really like make sure I lock out, especially my deadlift arm, and then just trying to create some like strength at that very end range of motion.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's opening my shoulders a little bit.
It should.
I just think we get so much like this.
Yeah. Anytime that you can be more here, the better. The more that you can be more pulled.
Open up.
Yeah.
I do my bicep curls. I'll just do like 3 or 4 sets of not heavy. Like, I mean, I age 65, 75 pounds, something like that for 6 to 8. And I get like a stupid pump, and it's just really trying to open that up at the bottom. And after deadlift day, so it's like crunchy the first set.
It's crunchy.
And I really try and like go pinky up on the way up. So
it's overlooked. I mean, with what we do, people aren't curling.
I think people get afraid of doing curls because they're afraid of like tiring the bicep.
Right, but I mean, it all comes back.
It needs to be strong. Like I noticed before I bought the Bob, the West Side calf machine, I would have horrible calf cramps deadlifting because I get on my toes.
Because you get on your toes.
So like I just started training the shit out of my calves, and my calves are stronger, and it doesn't happen.
That's good.
I mean, it's like anything else, man. Like you kind of want everything to be strong.
Yeah, I mean, I never understood that. Like, I'm not gonna train my biceps because I don't want to tear them. Like that.
No, it's the exact opposite of what you should be doing.
Exactly. And
you should make your biceps harder to tear.
Exactly. And I don't even know because I've refused to watch the video, but I don't even know what happened on my set.
I know what happened. Your bicep tore.
Yeah, no shit. But I don't know if it was because I curled my arm. I don't know if it was
probably not, man.
Position.
It's probably 300, 800 plus pound deadlifts, and you probably were a little dehydrated or a little immobile, or it was just time for that to go.
I know. What up, Phil? How we doing?
I saw Kirby on here. Kirby, congratulations on the WPO invite, dude. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Yes.
Good luck.
And Phil squatted something stupid raw the other day, or it was today.
Yeah.
It's like 960.
Phil didn't watch the podcast last week, but
yeah, I was very upset about that.
He did something like a 800 or a 900 pound pulse squat or something.
So that's cool, I guess.
I did an 875 pound, 1 inch above parallel pulse squat. I paused it for 7 seconds.
You sure did. No, Christy, I don't want to see the video. I don't want to see the video of me tearing my bicep. No, we're good. You could delete.
Do we get questions?
I got 2 questions.
All right, let's do it.
The first question I got, and I thought we had one from last week.
We do.
Okay, so
Mike
asked, why don't we answer that one, and
Mike
then we'll
asked,
answer.
What do you do in place of dynamic work if you don't believe in dynamic work?
I do what I call an accessory lower body day. which is the day that I deadlift on. So, I mean, you could call it a deadlift day if you really wanted to. I just keep the name from 531 because that's where where the premise came from, an accessory lower day, and the day is built as an accessory day, and I just throw deadlifts in there as well. So typically we'll do some kind of low box squat, super wide. That's getting implemented for everyone forever from now on. 12-inch ultra wide, beltless, shoeless, 12-inch safety bar. You really want to get your hips strong. That's how you do it. Then we'll pull. It's not a ton of volume because it's not a deadlift day. It's an accessory day. So we'll maybe total amount of reps will be 15. Maybe.
Well, me doing your program, the way that you program it, step in because I believe in speed work, so I don't believe in a program that exists without speed work. But I would say that I think a big problem with people and the deadlift, and this is where I've struggled, is like you have to deadlift. I think for years the guys at Westside didn't deadlift enough, but I think that you could deadlift way too much also, and I don't really like the idea of getting volume for the deadlift through the deadlift.
No, 100% not.
So
because
like,
it's so taxing.
I worked up in like doubles to like, usually with the AR, it's usually in the low fours. So it'll be like, I start with 100. So it'll be 6 reps, beltless, throw my briefs on, 3 or 4 reps, 10 reps max, and I'm done. And then I get my volume for those movements through like.
You get your volume through through the accessory work. We're targeting, we're using if you want to look at it, you're using the deadlift like an accessory movement.
Yeah, but you're using it for familiarity. But like, right. I do think it's inarguable that the deadlift is the most taxing on recovery. So if you just back volume on deadlifts,
no, and that's why, like you just said, max. Most of the time between 10 to 15 reps, 15 reps, I would say max.
And you got to take into consideration that the same muscles that you're taxing for deadlift, you used to squat 3 or 4 days earlier, and are going to squat 3 or 4 days later. So it has to exist in harmony.
It does, and that's why it's not a ton of volume. It's not a ton of straight weight, right? Because straight weight with volume is going to crush you. It's going to crush your CNS. Straight weight, just in general, is going to crush you more than AR. So it's a lot of bands. Taste the fucking rainbow, and then work up to something moderately, decently heavy. There's never, ever, ever a miss. There shouldn't be any misses on deadlift days, just because besides a reverse band, you're never, I don't program at least, ever really a 10 in training on a pull.
No, I'm not a big fan of 10s in training in general. I mean,
no, especially, I mean, there are times where it needs to be pushed to, max effort to
well, yeah,
to get accustomed.
You're gonna have days where you need to feel weight.
Yeah,
and then you're gonna have days where there's a plate goal or a round number goal, and that you're gonna make a jump. But like, you also have to consider, and I know you don't try to beat PRs, but you've got to take into consideration, like, if I jump for a 35, 40 pound PR, my last PR is 555 and I take 6, like the next time 605 is the goal and shut it down because that was a big reach.
That was a big reach. Right. No, in that case, yeah. You want to be beating previous PRs, but we go back and forth with this all the time. There's a difference between, just beating, 5, 10 pounds, and if it's there that day, beating it by 5 or 10 pounds and then taking another set.
Well, you talk about it all the time, and our difference is just it's semantics. But like, you don't like, I got my 5 pound PR, but I squatted 50 pounds less than I could have still made pretty and fast. That's stupid. And I
agree. Because yeah, you can take that 5 pound PR, and yeah, it's a win for the day. But if the goal of the day is to take something around a 9, right, and you take your 5-pound PR and there's still 40, 50, 60 pounds in the tank, then that's not a 9, right? So
that's correct.
So you're not hitting the goal of the day because you're leaving one short. Now, I'm not saying you need to take max effort 10 every week, but you also need to get a feel for your, for weight. You as the lifter need to get a feel for, that was moderately heavy. That was heavy, or, oh, fuck, that was really heavy. We're definitely not taking another one.
Yeah, and there's some feel for that, and I would say that you should try to leave a jump short instead of a jump far. I would rather
correct,
but
correct.
As you start to gather some feel for this, but the one rule that I stick by, and you do as well, and it's going to be difficult not difficult, but a change for me to learn because I got not the kilos, but the calibrated plate, so I got the 55, so my jumps are bigger. But I usually only take one jump inside at least a quarter. So like if I go 10-5, if there's any change on the bar, it's not a quarter or a plate. Like that's it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I mean that's very true.
Like you got to learn how to like. That's one reason why I'm excited to have the colored plates, because I can just go like, what's it? 185, 295, 405, 515, 625 done, and that's 6 reps, or if it's 625, okay.
You're saying to get,
because
to get like
every time
smaller
you add
jumps
a red,
to get to,
every time you add a red, it's a 110-pound jump,
right,
as opposed to 9. So it goes up. Like, so you actually, in some cases, you skip the 4s. Like with the safety bar, a 65-pound bar, 3 reds is 395. So if you go from 3 reds to 4 reds, it goes from 395 to 505.
Oh, shit. Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because every time a red goes on, it's 110 pounds on the bar.
Interesting. Because because it's
bar weight, it goes 110, 2, 23, 34, 45, 56, 67, 70, 80, 80, 9, 90. And then you add whatever the
plates are 90, so you subtract.
They're 55.
No, I'm saying regular plates would be 45,
yeah,
so you're adding 90.
So like,
got it.
With regular plates, they go down 10 pounds inside the hundreds.
Right. And
with those, like you actually end up skipping the 4s.
Skipping. Yeah.
You'd skip the 5s if it was a 45-pound bar. So on bench, if you went reds the whole way up, you'd go 155, 265, 375, 485, or 595, and then 705. So you'd skip the 6s.
Huh.
You don't really notice it, but like for me, my third set under the bar is like 300. It's like bar 185, 300, 395.
So it's forcing you to take bigger jumps.
Take huge jumps.
But that's what you need, right? Like,
I mean, yeah, you'll save a jump. Like if I was working up to like an opener, I would say it would save me a full jump. It'd be what, 175, 285, 395, 505, 615, 735. Yeah, so it would save me a full jump.
Right. So like sometimes that matters.
I think,
right. Like
so.
like I know, because in training I don't take my 200-pound jumps. I'll take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't do that.
But I know, but I think because of that then when I can taper that out, getting closer to the meet and take less jumps, I think that saves you.
I think so too. It's a confidence thing for people, though.
Yeah, 100%. But I mean,
because sometimes you make those jumps and it's like, whoa. Like I remember, like when I throw chains on, because I won't ever put chains on until there's like 3 plates. Mm-hmm. That, like when you put 260 pounds of chains on and unrack 315 with no belt to 315 with a belt and the chains, you're like, whoa.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. Because in my opinion, chains are way harder because that's actual fucking weight. Like that's weight. Not band resistance.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah, I
especially
mean, it
if,
basically, like, it takes you from, like, something you take without a belt to, like, if I was doing it raw, it would take me from something I would do without a belt in the warm-up room to basically an opener. If I went to 3 plates, it'd be the last thing I would take beltless. And then throw the chains on, that's 565, 575, which would probably be my opener if I competed raw again.
right. So
close to it, hopefully.
Yeah,
I mean, my last raw meet I opened at 540, so I mean, high fives I would guess.
Yeah,
my
but I
openers.
mean, I would assume so, if not 6.
I don't know, man. We're not going to do another raw meet.
It doesn't matter, so who cares?
Okay,
It doesn't matter.
Other 2 questions.
The other question was, okay, how would you program someone who wanted to get into powerlifting but never touched a barbell? The initial program.
Never touched a barbell?
Touched a barbell.
Very slowly.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have to, like, that's a, I would say the initial thing would be assess and regress or progress. So, like, assess their ability to move. You know, if this is somebody who was a moderate level athlete and in pretty good shape, then I'd say let's get them under a barbell, get a box at parallel,
and see what it looks like.
Bench, and let's just, like, you know, keep them in, like, reps in the 7 range. You know,
see where form breaks down, see where technique breaks down.
Yeah, this is the only time where I'm ever going to go away from the conjugate method, but, like, they need time under the bar and reps and movement. So, like, I would have them do, like, a conjugate-ish deal, but it might be, like, an 8-rep max, a 5-rep max with a straight bar, a 3-rep max, a 1-rep max. Like, very, very basic, very low variation, very volume-driven, stuff like that. Like, you know, my variation would be reps. My variation would be things of that nature. Speed days would be rep days. They would be lighter but shorter rest, and I would use that as a really good opportunity to make their work capacity be a strength, because I think a lot of novices, their work capacity is a negative, especially people who don't train conjugate method. I think their work capacity becomes, I think, like a lot of people I see, their work capacity sucks. So their level of fitness is below their level of strength. Their level of stability is below their level of strength. So their ability to display what strength they have throughout the course of a powerlifting meet is very low. So I would try and, you know, if you had your way, I think it would be better for your work capacity and your stability to outweigh your strength levels.
Yes, because it's going to be easier to get stronger if you have higher levels of work capacity and more mobility and what was it?
It's also easier to be healthy.
Correct.
People with big motors, like strong motors and weak chassis, those cars
break down.
Engines twist their cars up.
Correct.
And people, you know, and the base, you know, so I'd rather people's engine. I don't want to say their engine be smaller. I would rather their stability levels and such outweigh the engine of the car.
100%.
And, like, you're always
how many people have you seen, lifters that you've seen, that can exhibit very high levels of strength, but they're capped because of bad GPP, bad mobility, bad stability, bad, you know,
and that's one of those things,
foundational strength, bad everything.
Well, and this thing's a marathon too, right? And, like, you kind of only get one chance to build a base, you know, and people like you and I are very fortunate because, you know, I was introduced to the barbell at a young age. I hated it, but I had a high level of fitness because of my athletic background. So I was always in better shape than, you know, so I've always had this base that's kind of allowed me to, like, handle the amount of volume that I wanted and felt like I needed, which I probably didn't need. But if I had shitty GPP, I would have been injured a lot.
Because if you look, I mean, even now, but if you look at all of the shit that you used to do, like, you were doing 20, 30, 40, 50 sets at a workout.
I mean, I still do way more than I than most people.
Right.
But
and probably more than you need. But
I mean, I've had people tell me that if I was lazier, I'd probably be stronger. They're probably true.
Probably
but
right.
Maybe
Correct.
one day when I stop wanting to be in the gym for as much as I like, maybe then I'll tap into some extra strength. But I'm intentionally with the deadlift day and stuff like that. I think I'm doing less. I'm trying to learn how to do like slow my accessories down and do more with less weight and make the exercises harder.
So we were actually talking about this in the gym last Tuesday or Thursday. We were talking about something, and we were saying they were doing incline dumbbells or something as like some volume after benching, and we were saying how it's such a pain in the ass. Like you don't want to touch anything heavy after heavy bench. Like I know thinking like putting anything heavy in my hand after taking a heavy bench, I'm like I'm good. Like I'm all set there. But you don't necessarily need to go super heavy as long as you're pushing yourself the way that you should be doing with your accessory work. So if you have to do incline dumbbells after you bench, that's great. Add some tempos in there, and then you don't have to go as heavy.
Yeah.
Do single arm, do alternate arm dumbbell presses, holding the other one up.
Squeeze.
While
Squeeze.
so to make the lift harder, to a different layer of strength in there, because you are working different stuff if you're doing negatives, if you're doing single arm stuff.
Well, you also have to understand that like the max effort is going to take care of the fast twitch muscles.
Right.
Those are going to fire. So if you're doing max effort correctly and you're doing speed work correctly, that's taking care of your fast twitch fibers. And then when you're doing accessory work, you're trying to tap into those second and third and fourth motor units. And that's the way that you do that is you slow down.
You slow down, you squeeze.
And this is something that people miss on max effort. People don't understand, but like they always said, why do they do doubles and squats, triples on bench and singles on deadlift? And it was always because a set of double and briefs to a box takes about as long as a max effort squat. So you're under tension for about as long. A set of 3 on bench, you're under tension for about as long as a shirted bench. And a deadlift is kind of a deadlift. So like, and if you're doing it right, that's about, I mean, if you pay attention to how long it takes for fast twitch muscle fibers that's about all you got. That's why I'm like really.
Until you start to, that's when you start to slow down.
That's how, yeah. And well, like a lot of people miss with weights, not because they run out of strength, just because they can't strain any longer.
Right.
So that's a reason, so when you get into your accessories, it behooves you to slow down and start to let some of those because your primary fires should be fired out by the time you're done with your main movement of the day.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not toasted after your max effort work, if that's the goal of the day is to work up to something pretty fucking heavy, then you should be pretty toasty after you're done. That's why I never understand, these people who they'll squat, but then they'll go take, they'll pause squat, and then they'll high bar squat, and then they'll do nine other squat variations. If you can go do all that after you're done squatting, then your squat work's not that hard.
No, and then you're just like, but then you're just wearing that motor pattern.
You're wearing that motor pattern out, and
moving pattern.
Once you get tired, and this is what I don't understand why people are so anti hammering accessory work. When you get tired, when you're squatting, and you're doing it for volume, right? Those muscles that need the most work aren't working. They're being taken over by your stronger muscles.
That's right.
So if you're going to tell me that you're doing high bar squats after you pause squat for volume, well, those muscles that need that work, that need that real hypertrophy and that real volume, they're not getting any of it. They are being overlooked.
Yep.
And your more dominant muscles are taking over.
Strong muscles are going to keep getting stronger and stronger, and your weak muscles and then you're going to get hurt.
Then you're going to get hurt. And that's
and that's where, like, and this is a little bit off topic, but people talk about the conjugate system, right? And they say, well, it's not specific enough. but they're going to go hammer like 11 sets of 5 on squats with 3 different variations. And my question to you is like, well, for the entire year in conjugate, you're very specific because you're doing the same movement pattern. You're just varying certain things. But the biggest thing is like the most specific thing you're doing is you're doing singles.
Right.
And like, so if you tell me specificity is important, then like you need to be
a sport that is entirely revolved around one rep.
That's specific. That's
as specific as you get.
So like, I would say doing a set of 6 with the straight bar and doing a set of 1 with the safety bar, I would say that you're probably more specific to a goal of being good at doing a single with a specialty bar, even if there is a box involved.
Doesn't matter.
Because box squats are harder.
Box squats are harder, and if you're doing it correctly, they should look exactly the same. I'll say that again. Little tidbit.
Box squats are harder.
They are. But your box squats and your free squats should look the same.
Yeah.
They should look the same.
Yeah. The only difference is like you should be unloading into the box, and that's what makes it harder, but it should look the same.
It should look the same. Hold on, I don't know what that's. Hold on. We got reps. You think I can do wrap squat Monday, sleeves raw Wednesday? Oh, man. Really, Phil? You're going to squat 3 days a week?
Oh. I'm in no place to tell you how to squat, Phil.
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't recommend. I mean, I watch your work capacity. It's pretty crazy, but I don't know if your body / CNS is going to hold up for 3 max effort squat days in 5 days.
No, I think that's made for people who squat half of what you squat.
Yeah.
Because you got to think.
I mean,
Phil, one thing you got to think about is like the volume that it takes for you to get to that squat is double. Like somebody that squats 500 pounds is going to work up to say 455 on Monday in wraps, and they're a 500-pound squatter, 475, and they're going to work up to 405 in sleeves, and then and then front squat, and they're going to work up to 365. Like they've got 3 jumps on front squat day, or pause squat day, 4 jumps, and they've got 5 jumps, and they've got 6 jumps, and you've got like 9 jumps, 9 jumps, 9 jumps. That's triple the volume and quadruple the volume. And while your work capacity should be higher than that of a 500-pound squatter, that's a lot of movement and work. I don't know. God bless you for wanting to squat raw that much a week, though.
I mean, yeah. So. I wouldn't recommend, but let us know how it goes.
What do you?
I can promise you, I will not be implementing. So
no matter how good that goes, buddy, I won't be doing it.
No.
So what else you got? What's your last question?
The other one was a bullshit question. So, I'm out unless I can't look because it was posted on this page. So, I don't think I have any questions on mine because I think I'm still shadow banned. My phone's dead. So, did you get any or no?
Did Instagram do that to you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Instagram did it, Mark Zuckerberg did it, but we are banned.
It's hard to,
the Lord Reverend is as shadow banned can be.
It's hard to be the king, man.
Yeah, it happens. What about you? Anything?
Nah, no questions. I'm not the show pony.
Neither am I.
I'm interested to see, I'm interested to see what's going to happen with the WPO because there's a lot of people that have accepted. I'm waiting to see they drop the roster, but it looks like there's like well over 15, and they're not done with announcements yet.
Love it. Try it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with trying something new. I mean, you're a smart guy, clearly. So just be smart about it. Be, I would say, overly cautious about your volume.
would definitely say like the jumps need to be big, and you need to minimize what you're doing. Like that's not a time to be doing downsets.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, Dan Green did it, but I mean, Dan Green had like a heavy high bar day, a heavy low bar day, a heavy RDL day, a heavy sumo day, a heavy conventional day, and a heavy front squat day. But we also never got to see the best of Dan Green because he was always hurt.
Always hurt, and he was never. I don't think he was ever fully.
But God,
like peak for me.
Goddamn was he jacked?
Oh my God, he was fucking huge.
He's still huge, but it's like, and they're all what I would call like movement injuries. They're all like, you know, it's a torn this, or it's a torn that, or it's a tweak this, or it's a tweak that, or what have you.
I mean, that is unfortunately part of the sport when you get to that level.
Well, when you're raw and you're that close to, and that's the other thing. When you're raw and you're that close to your genetic potential, you've kind of grown your muscles as big as you can grow them.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much. There is unfortunately only so much that that you can eke out of your muscles. Ah, she just farted. That stinks.
So tires on NASCARs. Where do the tires on NASCARs wear out? On the left, because they turn left.
Oh, that makes sense.
Like with regards to Dan Green, if every single week, it's a low bar or a safety bar, it's like 2 or 3 squats a week, and they're all like same stance, same stance, same movement pattern.
I think people don't need to do back downs and benefit. I mean, yeah, I don't think about all the sets you're doing leading up to that. We were saying if it wasn't a meet day, if you're taking a max effort squat in the gym and you're not treating it like meet day jumps, Phil, you're taking 11 sets, 10 sets.
Yeah, and for a guy like him, I mean, if you're putting 100% in the bar, once you get past 500 pounds, I mean, that's, and here's the thing, like 500 pounds does feel lighter to me than it did a year ago, 2 years ago. 800 pounds does feel lighter, but like it's still 500 pounds. It's still a lot. Like it's still a lot of weight. Yeah. So 100 jumps. Yeah. That's so.
So what's that? That's 8 jumps. 8 jumps gets you to 940. But still, but that's 9 jumps on your raw day. That's 9 jumps on around 8 to 9 jumps on your sleeve day. Probably 9 or so jumps on your wrap day. And then if you're in briefs, you're going to be working up to at least in the high thousands, right? As a 900,000 pound raw squatter, you would think. Once you get
he's definitely. I mean, he's definitely good for. I mean, the only way he's not good for over 1050 is if he just can't manipulate the gear. But
right. But I mean, strength wise, it should be more than enough. But right then and there, you're talking about like Andy said before, 30 in between 30 and 40 jumps a week.
Yeah, I mean, and if you look at like the West Side plan, it calls for 25 squats and 7, so it's 32 squats. So when we get to 40, that's getting close to 10% over what you.
And
25% over. Sorry, 25.
Those percentages are in light, like West Side calls for.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
yeah, and it's a lot. It's a lot of max effort squats per week. I mean, when you're doing red plate jumps, in terms of max effort, you really might only be taking 2 over 90% squats per week, 2 per day. So you're getting 6-ish per week, that's recoverable. You can do that.
Yeah.
You just got to be smart with it.
Agreed.
You got to be smart. We had a question. Do you think there's a higher chance to get injured raw compared to equipped? My answer to that would be, I think the injuries that happen raw versus equipped a lot of times are different.
Yes. Agreed. I agree with that.
I think that you have more of a chance to tear a muscle raw considerably because, I mean, equipped powerlifting began with the goal being to protect
the body in its most dangerous spots. Like protect the bottom, protect squat at the bottom. Protect your body when it's most at risk. But I mean, for me, yes, that's correct, Emily. Equipment is protected. I mean, it was protected.
It's meant to protect you when you're using it properly. Two, when you know what you're doing. But
four ply briefs are not like, they are protective in theory, but that is performance. I mean, that's like saying that's like taking a gram a week and going like, yes, TRT. Like, no, it's not TRT, bro. That's not TRT. And that trend's not TRT, nor is that Halo you're eating. It's not like, you're not worried about your hormones, right? So, but I think the injuries are different. So, like, for me, I think like raw, you have this tendency for your muscles and your ligaments and those things to get injured. In gear, is 1,000 pounds on your back more dangerous, or is 500 pounds on your back more dangerous, right? For me, it's like, well, if I went and took a really heavy meat squat, it's a 300-pound difference.
300 pounds between what, your raw and your
gear.
Okay. Yeah.
So what has it, like, when I say hurting me, the geared squat is it runs the risk of hurting me in a different way than a raw squat does. Like,
right.
Is my chance of tearing my quad higher or lower? Probably lower. Is my chance of something else happening? Considerably higher.
Right.
Right? You've never seen a woman break her forearm with a raw bench, but they break their forearms with geared benches. Right? So like that, but the other side of that is you're not tapping into that level of carryover unless you're proficient in the gear.
Correct.
And if you're proficient in the gear, then you're probably got a chance to be okay.
Right. I mean, if you put gear on it and you try to move in a way in which the gear does not allow or something like that, you're putting yourself in some,
or you move where the
super
gear wants you, not where the gear needs to be.
Say that again.
You move where the gear wants to put you.
Right. But I'm saying if you try to use gear and allow it to put you in a bad situation, you are in you and everyone around you is in some serious risk of injury.
Yeah, people don't eat the barbell. Like
people will legitimately eat a barbell.
People don't lose their teeth benching raw.
Not usually, no.
So I think that's a big deal. But I think this belies one little quick tangent to go off on. I think that one thing that people miss on is like, you have to be strong to use the gear.
Yes.
You have to be strong. Like you can raw squat your whole life, right? And be quad dominant. And have no ability to squat where you need to maximize the gear. And then at that point, all that gear is going to do
is put you in a bad situation.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you go trying to bench like you would raw in a bench shirt, and like that, everybody's in trouble.
You're going to eat a barbell. You're going to eat a barbell.
And that a lot with the bench shirt benching is these people, they want to bench in a that's why people hate the bench shirt, because you can just put a bench shirt on and bench the same way you bench raw.
Same thing.
And get a major carryover, and all you got to do is just get over the fact that you're holding 800 pounds in your hands. You put a poly on and try and bench like that, you ain't going to touch. And if you try and touch, you're going to dump it on your belly, you're going to dump it on your ribs, you're going to eat it. And like, so then you get these guys who spend a bunch of time in poly, and they're tucking from the top in a band shirt. They touch, and then the first thing that happens is their elbows shoot up, the bar goes back, and they eat the barbell. And it's like, so that's where like learning how to maximize that gear for what you need and where it needs to take you, and this, that, and the other, that's what's very important.
100%. I mean, you need to, but it goes back to what you're saying. In order to manipulate the gear correctly, you need to have a raw base, a strength base that is going to allow you to move in the proper mechanics in the gear, because it's it's totally different leverages, it's totally different movements, it's totally different feels. So
no, even for somebody like me who was like a major box squat aficionado, like that, I was box squatter. Like when you put the gear on, like your body, yeah, no shit, right, Phil?
oh yeah.
Wait till you try to get it in a shirt that you should be benching in, buddy, and the shirt chokes you out, you can't see for 2 days. Then you'd let me know then. The shirt that I learned to bench in, the first 2 times I got a touch, I had having trouble seeing for 2 days because it choked me out so bad.
And not a good choke. Not a fun choke.
No.
And
now you're bigger and your stroke on bench is a lot shorter than mine is. You know, I got super long arms and I was in a shirt that was not good for me, but I mean that's where the ball game changes for you.
In a shirt.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Oh yeah.
100%. I mean, I think anyone for the most part can put on a big pair of briefs, and kind of be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. If you buy them big, I didn't buy them big. I bought them like a hair big, and it took me time to get them on and actually like, oh, they're on. And like what you don't understand is like they're not on until you feel like you're gonna talk like this. Like that's when they're on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when I'm hanging and I'm like, yeah, all right, let me down. That's where they need to be. Like, but when they're not on, they hurt worse.
That's the other thing too, is you have people that you know, they're not in gear that is sized for them or that fits them, and they're not in the positions that they need to be because the gear isn't supporting them where it should. And I've seen both sides. I've seen super, super big stuff, but then I've seen some people in gear that's way too small, and it's like you're probably not gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna hurt people around you. You're gonna hurt your spotters.
Here's one of those things that, like,
your training partners.
You don't need to be in a hurry.
No,
I feel like just yesterday I put briefs on for the first time, and it's been 3 years, and I'm still learning, and like that's okay. Simmer.
I mean, simmer. Yeah, I've been doing it for over 10 years.
Settle down.
And
like,
there's been people that
slow down.
They're doing it for longer.
Learn how to move. Learn how to push back and open. You're not going to want to do it. I've said this multiple times. I had a guy, and he was a raw boy, Marcos, and like he's like, I want to do the storm meet, and he put briefs on like February, and I'm like, I don't know, buddy. He got a single ply shirt, like unbelievable how quick he was. Just like back open on the box. Okay, let's add some weight, and we're like, oh shit, and then like 2 board, no problem. 1 board, no problem. Hover close to a touch. All right, let's make this adjustment. You're gonna have to pull it in. Boom. Like, okay, we gotta work some on the top end. Like, your boy just goes out there and goes 9 for 9. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, that's ridiculous. Like, I was so impressed. You know, because like my first meet, I mean, I called you every Tuesday night for 3 months. Like, I'm opening raw. We don't know how to touch. And it's like, it's so hard for people.
It is. And
big PGA guy. If he takes to golfing as good as he takes to geared powerlifting, I'm gonna be caddying for him on TV.
Hey, whatever. That's fine. Did he actually make the tour?
Oh. No, but he wants to be a golf pro. Like, we're gonna golf course.
He's like a scratch golfer.
On his way.
Oh yeah.
Like, the last time I played with him, he was like learning how to play golf and had some skills.
Good for him.
I played with him.
I know, I'm terrible.
At some point this summer. So, but yeah, so it's a
yeah, I mean,
it's fun in a different kind of way, Phil. Like, because there's a certain type of letting go that occurs. Like, you're not in control. Like, when you ride a bull, the bull's in control. Like, you're just like, open the gate and hold on.
Correct.
And when you unrack a geared squat, like you have some
semblance of control, but you're not in control. And like I think like that's the beautiful thing about it for me.
Yeah. Phil said that he's excited to go down the journey of gear. To be honest, that it's fun and scary. I mean, there are still times where, you know, even for me at this point where, you know, you're calling for a number or you're like, all right, let's take another one. And you're like, oh, fuck. Like,
yeah.
That's,
when this last one cleared the hooks, I was like, whoo. And it was fast.
Like,
and I was like, finish your note. I'm going to tell you a story before we go, and then we'll get out of here.
And it's, oh, fuck. Like, that's, you know, 11, 12, whatever it is, you know, 8, 9, who cares? And you're
Quickly
like,
desensitized.
You do, because, you know, you and for me at least, this is kind of something that I have been trying to, you know, build upon on the lifters on my team. And there has, at least in equipped lifting, in my opinion, there has to be a little bit of a sense of cockiness or confidence, more so confidence that you are able to do whatever's on the bar. Because if you are calling for a weight and you are unsure, at least in gear, in my opinion,
it's over.
Don't even take it. Don't even get under that bar.
No, you owe it to everybody on the platform.
If you do not feel confident under a weight, in my opinion, you shouldn't even call for it. You shouldn't call for it. You shouldn't. You're not doing what you should be doing as the lifter for the people around you. If you're not confident getting under the bar,
and that takes time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that takes time.
It's not something.
And the biggest part of that, and this is why I don't know about you, but I'm such an advocate for the AR, is like when the bar clears the hooks, like I know if I can stand up with it when it clears the hooks.
If you can pick it,
I know.
You can squat it.
I don't know if I can get it to depth.
If you can pick it, you can squat it.
But I know that and like, if you pop your opener out of the hooks and you're like, I'm about to get crushed, it's over for you.
You're done. You're done. You're done. And guess what, guys? If that's your mindset when you pick your opener, you already knew that in the back room.
Oh, yeah.
You already knew that in the back room when you took your last warm-up and you either cut it high or it was slow or it didn't feel great. That's already dancing in your head.
Yeah, and I'll tell you.
Last warm-up wasn't fast. My confidence level is out that window. I should just go home.
Number one, 2 quick stories. Number one, the day I squatted 904 at the Lawrence in 2021, I remember taking 4 plates and going like, there's no way I'm squatting 500 pounds more than this. I remember 4 plates felt heavy. And I remember I just kind of like went in the corner, drank a beer, kind of like had a talk with myself and was like, you better get your mind right, because you came down here, you know, people, like, yeah, Emily, people were there. I think I told you that, Emily. I think I told you. I was like, I don't know if I'm a little nervous about having to squat 500 pounds more than that. You know, and I'm like, I remember just having to talk to myself and going like, you came down here for it. You're going to take it. You're not going to bitch up. And then like I popped 5 out of the hooks and it felt like a feather. 6, 7, went out on the platform. 8 felt great. 8 and some change felt great. And I'm like, yeah, we're good. And it was like 900 felt like nothing. And it's such a mindset involved with it, because like when you pop it out of there, and if you take it out of the racks like a bitch, if you don't own it, it comes out of there like
it's gonna make you look like a bitch.
It's gonna own you.
If you attack that or approach that set like you're scared of it, then it's not gonna be fun.
You can attest to this. Like with me, I mean, my opener was a train wreck, and like the calmest person about it was me. I was like, "No, we're good, man. Just put 40 more on there. We'll be fine. I gotta get the right spot." And it's like and 4 meets ago, my second multi-play meet, that wouldn't happen. I'd have been cooked.
Yeah, you would have been out. You would have been it.
I'm not afraid to bomb, and I'm not going to call for a weight that I can't squat. So the funny story I got to tell you is when I first started doing multi-ply, Chris was coaching me,
And I would always take the set that I thought was my top set, and then I would send it to Chris, but I would wait until I had taken all of my gear off. So he couldn't go like, add a 20 time. Yeah, that's another funny story. We'll save that for next week, Emily. Well, I'll tell you the brief story. But I would literally take my gear off, and then Chris would be like, go 925. I'm like, I've actually got all my briefs off, man.
I'm actually out of all my shit. Sorry.
But speaking of funny openers, Emily did a USPA meet, and the guy told me they were playing a quick national anthem, and they were not going to talk. They were just going to go right to the platform, and she was the first lifter. And for whatever reason, the USPA does not allow the first lifter go with no clock, so you can wrap her, which makes no sense. That's not for the lifters, but that's just neither here nor there. If you're running meets, the first lifter, if they need to be wrapped, they don't go on a clock. Neither does the second lifter. That's the way that's supposed to work, so that everybody can get wrapped, and you're going to slow your meet down by like 45 seconds. So you'll be okay at the end of the day. It's better for everybody. Anyway, so I wrapped her at the national anthem. It was the slowest national anthem of all time. And then they talked for a minute. So she likes her reps tight. She was in a wrap for like 4 minutes.
Done.
Unwrapped it.
Not feeling anything.
Yeah.
Fell right on her face.
Oh, it was terrible.
It was terrible.
No spotters either.
No spotters. Fell right on her face.
She walked right back out there, blew that up, and then took a 30-pound jump because we came to squat 235, and she blew that up. So
that was it.
Got to have some balls.
Absolutely. 100%.
Right. Next week, same time, same place.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gents, thank you for tuning in. The State of the Union, sponsored by Go Hard Barbell, BCB Training Systems, Wicked Wolf Beard Co. There it is. We saw it.
That's the Go Hard Barbell.
Love you, 3. Bye, guys. Love you, pal. Andy left me. Bye, guys.